On today's Glory Days show, a real professional football player will be joining us via Skype. Our pal Rocky Cleaver will join us to talk about football and just about anything else.
And so much has happened in the last few weeks, except for the Jets and Giants winning football games, that is.
Well, some NFL players took to protesting social issues on the field, and the public was rioting in the streets. Our guest got to spend Monday night at MetLife Stadium as the Jets honored Wayne Corbett and Leon Hess in their Ring of Honor.
And in our Did You Hear About segment, we've got stories about Penn State and Jerry Sandusky, Rolling Stone magazine naming the 15 worst owners in professional sports, and Roger Clemens is forced to reveal over 6,000 emails. Think he had a lot of cute cat videos?
He got a lot of misremembers, I think.
These stories and more coming up on today's Glory Days show right now. Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, December 6, 2014, and you are watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Descalfani, and this is my good friend, Bruce Oler.
Hello, Disco. How are you?
Kyle Melnick and Bonnie Schultz are behind the glass today, and you are joining us on the Enravio.com TV network, where we broadcast to the world from the Enravio studios at the Village Music Shoppy right here in beautiful Mastic, Long Island, in the great state of New York. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I started my new job this week.
You're back in the...
back in the employed circle there, you know?
How's it feel to be back working?
It's a little tough getting up in the morning, you know, or working till 5, you know, but it's a job.
Yeah, hey, listen, you know, I was out for the whole Thanksgiving week. And we went away for a couple days, and it was wonderful not having to go to work. I'm almost, you know, my wife's been retired for 6 or 7 years now, and I just can't wait. I can't wait not to be able to do anything.
Yeah, I don't miss not being home, but I'll tell you who does.
Oh.
My dog.
Your dog?
My dog loved hanging around with me, and man, he looks at me in the morning, where you going? Where you going, man, you know?
Well, what are you going to do? So it's good. It's a nice place you're working at.
Yeah.
It's nice people.
So far, so good, you know.
That's good. So I'm glad to hear that.
I haven't gotten anybody mad, and nobody's mad at me, I guess.
Days,
you know.
How long do you have to be on? How long are you on probation for?
Probably forever. Okay.
No, that's double secret.
Yeah, okay.
All righty. Shall we get right into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. You know, hang out, because later on we're going to have Rocky Cleaver on the show. He's a good guy, Rocky. We always have a lot of fun when we get Rocky on. All right, you know, we have a segment here on this show that we call Did You Hear About?
Yeah. Here we go.
I love that.
It's good.
It makes it's like David Letterman throwing this card. All righty. Did you hear about the NFL deciding not to penalize the 5 St. Louis Ram players who entered the field on Sunday with their hands raised up over their heads in solidarity with the protests in Ferguson, Missouri? The players, who were all black, came out of the tunnel with the hands up, don't shoot gesture that came to symbolize the uproar following the grand jury decision to not indict police officer Darren Williams in the shooting of Michael Brown. In that picture over that way,
I see,
is tight end Jared Cook, receivers Kenny Britt, Stedman Bailey, Curtis Givens and Tavon Austin. They participated in the protest before Sunday's game against Oakland that was held in
Not Tavon Martin, huh?
Not Tavon Martin.
Okay.
No, that's Trayvon Martin.
Okay.
Okay. The St. Louis Police Officers Association called for the players to be involved to be disciplined for both the Rams and the NFL to deliver a very public apology.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, the St. Louis Police Officers Association business manager Jeff Roeder said, and I quote, "I know that there are those who will say these players are simply exercising their First Amendment rights. Well, cops have First Amendment right also. I'd remind the NFL and their players that it's not the violent thugs burning down buildings that buy their advertising products. It's the cops and the good people of St. Louis and other towns that do."
You know, this guy reminds me of Al Sharpton. I mean, he's pouring gasoline on the fire here, too, you know.
Unfortunately, both the Rams and the NFL did not agree with him. There will be no apology or discipline from the players, from either the Rams or the NFL. So this is what Jeff Fisher had to say. As far as the choice the players made, no, they were exercising their right to free speech. They will not be disciplined by the club, nor will they be disciplined by the NFL. And the NFL Vice President of Communications, Brian McCarthy, said, "We respect and understand the concerns of all individuals who have expressed views of this tragic situation." You know, I'm sorry. I have this same problem with, like, as much as I love Bruce Springsteen and I love music.
Well, I was thinking about that,
too. I have the same problem with artists saying things that, using their platform to have their views about political stuff and that. You know, this is just such a bad situation. You know, this is due process.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. Would it have been any better if they decided to indict him and then he was proven not guilty? The same exact thing would have happened.
Probably not, but I think they're making too big of a deal. I mean, I don't like the fact that these NFL players, but everybody has a right to their own opinion, and
Absolutely.
it is a free country. It's free speech, you know. So they did it. So big deal, Get over it,
But my only problem with it is that it's a slap in the face to the police department, because the most ridiculous thing is the fact that this kid was holding up his hands like this and was shot down in cold blood by a police officer. That's what sparked this whole thing in the beginning. And the grand jury,
well, and we know that's not the real story.
Right, exactly.
We know that's
so
not
why
the real
would
story.
you use that as your gesture?
No. I mean, it was probably a poor choice of the way they chose to exhibit it.
Right.
But they do have the right to an opinion.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that don't think that this was right. They also don't think the New York City thing was right either.
Right.
I mean, but we got to get over these things, what we're going to go and do, And, for this guy from the St. Louis Police Department or whatever, to
Make it worse.
To make it worse, I mean, it's like Al Sharpton, man. That's what it is, He's not making things better either,
No,
Let's just get over it and move on.
All right, I say move on.
Yeah, okay. So, did you hear about Penn State? They sent a season ticket renewal letter to disgraced, convicted pedophile Jerry Sandusky this week that started with, "Dear Gerald A., congratulations on being identified as one of the elite college football fans in the nation! ! You have worked diligently to separate yourself by exhibiting unrivaled tenacity, character, and loyalty. Passionate and competitive, you are the leading standard of a first-class fan base." Sandusky was also invited to attend a recruiting visit at an upcoming basketball game.
They have him pegged perfectly. He was tenacious, he was passionate.
That's right.
He was all those things.
Letter was signed by head coach James Franklin. Sandusky is currently serving 30 to 60 years in the state penitentiary after being convicted of 45 counts of sexual abuse in 2012.
Do you know, I still get letters from something that I purchased 25 years ago on an email. They still send me letters to renew this and renew that. And once you get on a mailing list, they don't go through that mailing list too often.
Well, it's pretty bad QA process, I would say, in place there. Penn State Assistant Athletic Director for Communication Jeff Nelson explained how it happened. Clearly, a mistake was made, and our database needs to be further updated and cross-referenced. This standard form letter was part of a mass mailing to approximately 30,000 people who have had single season or single game tickets within the past 4 years, encouraging them to support the team and help fill Beaver Stadium.
Did you know they were the Penn State Beavers?
I did not know that.
No, I didn't know that.
For every game in 2015, end quote.
The thing is, you would think that Jerry Sandusky was such a terrible, horrible stain on that they would go through every possible thing that they could do to make sure his name didn't appear anywhere.
Well, you would think so, but obviously stuff happens,
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Who's going to take the fall, though?
I don't know. What do you do? I mean, does that mean, they didn't mention it, but he must have got one last year, too?
Yeah, why did it become a big deal this year?
I don't know. All righty. Well, now here's something.
Did they have a forwarding address, the Penn State Penitentiary?
Send them to the Penn. All right, the Penn State Pen.
Yeah, okay.
You think they call them the Beavers in the penitentiary too, or?
I don't know.
All righty. Did you hear that Rolling Stone magazine recently listed? They recently released a listing of the top 15 worst owners in professional sports. The listing was based on a number of factors, not just wins and losses. The owners were judged on their willingness to spend money, and it took into account, according to the report, which owners were the biggest a-holes and the biggest scumbags. Of the 15 owners, 4 of them are right here in New York.
Big surprise there, I guess. Huh?
You know what? And that represents just about half of the franchises in New York sports. Charles Wang, who still owns the Islanders, was number 15.
Okay.
Fred and Jeff Wilpon, they own the Mets. They were number 14. Woody Johnson, of course, owns the Jets. He was number 12. And James Dolan, who owns both the Knicks and the Rangers, he was in the top 5. He was number 3. Jeff Lund from Rolling Stone had these things to say about the New York owners. About Charles Wang, he said, for the day-to-day operations, he created an absurd executive structure that routed all personnel decisions through a committee that included non-hockey people who had no idea how to scout, manage, or evaluate talent. Right? Well, he kind of pinned that one right on the head there. About the Wilpons, he said, the Wilpons repeatedly structured deferred payments into payer contracts and handed the funds over to fraudster and family friend Bernie Madoff to invest in the meantime, making money before the bills became due. Oops. Right?
That should be D-U-E, not D-O.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you talked about Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeb made fun of his association with high-powered politicians and said, the Woodster made his money the old-fashioned way by being the great-grandson of the co-founder of Johnson & Johnson. But as far as the sports world is concerned, his crime is that he owns the New York Jets.
All right.
What are you going to do? For the record, GQ magazine ranked Woody as the 10th worst owner in sports back in April, so I guess he's getting better.
It's an improvement.
And on James Dolan, Jeb pointed out that he has run the Rangers into the ground the last decade, despite having one of the highest payrolls in the league, and that the Knicks have made the playoffs just twice since 2000, winning just one playoff series. And this is what he had to say. You know he's in a band, right?
Yeah, I do know that.
He performs in a band called J.D. and the Straight Shot, and he recorded a blues single titled Under the Hood, which is about Trayvon Martin. And then he booked his band for the Eagles, to open for the Eagles at Madison Square Garden. So, and for good measure, a recent ESPN poll of their panelists has named Dolan as the worst owner in all of professional sports. All right, you want to know who the top 5 guys are?
I'm dying.
I know you are.
Okay.
Daniel Snyder of the Washington Redskins.
Okay, why? Because he didn't change the name of the team? Okay.
Jeffrey Loria of the Miami Marlins. Jimmy Dolan. Then Jerry Jones, which I thought was surprising because, you know, he just, wasn't he just in the news about something with a girl?
A compromising position,
Compromising position, right? And the DeVos family from the Orlando Magic. So
are we not men? We are Devo.
We are
Okay,
Devo.
that's all I can say.
So, you know, we know in New York that we have a bunch of terrible...
Well, you know, I can't say I agree with all that. You know, Charles Wang, I mean, you know, I don't know, maybe he had some crazy stuff going on, but, you know, look where the Islanders are now, okay?
Right.
It took them a few years to get there, okay? But, you know, I mean, I think he did like Garth Snow, make the picks and stuff like that. So first of all, I think that's bogus that he's on that list, okay? The Wilpons, they're afraid to spend money. I guess I agree with that, you know, and they do treat the Met fans.
They had money problems.
Yeah.
You know, but they've invested in baseball people.
Yeah.
You know, and they're letting Sandy Alderson do the work. They're stepping back, and hopefully this is the year.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say I disagree with any other things there. Our last, did you hear?
Okay.
Did you hear about Roger Clemens and his legal team finally turning over about 6,000 pages of emails in the court battle with his former trainer, Brian McNamee, who's suing him for defamation of character in a Brooklyn federal court? In the emails released in early 2008, Clemens was trying to destroy McNamee's credibility after he was accused of doing steroids. McNamee's legal team has been trying to get these emails released, but for 2 years, Clemens has refused to release them as they contain multiple conversations with his agent and public relations team, multiple court orders, and a judge's warning of sanctions and contempt to finally produce the documents. The email should provide a behind-the-scenes account of the war that erupted as Clemens and McNamee were called to testify to Congress about the revelations in the Mitchell Report on doping in baseball. Clemens was later charged with perjury and obstruction, but was acquitted by a Washington jury in 2012. McNamee sued Clemens in 2009 after being portrayed as mentally unstable and being accused of fabricating evidence. After trying to argue that the documents and emails protected under client-attorney privileges, U.S. Magistrate Judge Cheryl Pollack reviewed the documents and ruled that only a tiny fraction met the standard, then demanded that the others be released. She ruled that not all the others do not deal in legal strategy, saying most concerned discussions of ways to promote or defend Clemens' public image and reputation. The case is expected to go to trial in early 2015.
You know, the thing about this whole trial was that McNamee seemed to be a pretty good witness.
Yeah.
Clemens just kept saying, you know what, he's not a good witness, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. And they finally said, you know, that's it. We're now going to take you to court because you're saying I'm a bad person, you're this, you're that. There's just been this.
See, Clemens should have been with the IRS, you know. Then he wouldn't have to produce any of these documents, I guess, you know.
You know, so I guess they're finally now, I mean, they have all these emails. I can't wait, really, to be honest with you, I can't wait to read.
A lot of emails to be reading, man.
I can't wait to read some of them to find out how they were scrambling and how they were going to protect Roger Clemens' legacy.
Yeah.
You know, and that they were going to make this stuff up. And you know what? I hope he has to pay McNamee millions of dollars. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, we'll see. 2015 is right around the corner here, my friend.
Yeah. All righty, we're just getting started here on the Gloria Day Show. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by our good friend of the show, Rocky Kleber, via Skype. I guess we'll talk a little bit about football.
I'm sure we will.
Stay with us. You're watching the Gloria Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the nradio.com TV network. We're coming right back.
Village Music Shop in Mastic has everything you need to give the gift of music this holiday season. Electric guitar packages with a guitar, amp, bag, and strap for only $1.99. Acoustic guitar packages as low as $79. Full-size 5-piece drum set package starting at $2.99. And all holiday packages come with 2 free private lessons. Gift cards available. Village Music Shop of Mastic. The best prices and personalized service for over 45 years. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE and visit villagemusicshop.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team. The Bully News Network, coming soon to InRavio.com, an all-new weekly show highlighting the latest news and information about the epidemic of bullying. Join Scott Hislop as he explores the issues with Dr. Michelle Golland, along with parents, teachers, and school officials, and many others affected by bullying. We'll tell stories together and work toward finding a solution to this rampant problem. The Bully News Network premieres Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. only on InRavio.com.
Alrighty, the Jets recently introduced receiver Wayne Chrebet and former Jets owner Leon Hess into their Ring of Honor during the halftime of that Monday night game against Miami and the Jets. The reclusive Hess was part of an ownership group that purchased the Jets in 1963, and he became their sole owner in 1984.
Okay.
Now, he rarely spoke with the media, but one of his greatest accomplishments was getting Bill Parcells from New England. Parcells really kind of turned around the franchise, although they did make the AFC Championship game in '99. Yes. And then Leon Hess died right after that, which was terrible. But Wayne Chrebet was an undrafted 5'10" receiver from Hofstra.
Hofstra University, yes.
And you know what? That he is second in the team in receptions, and third in receiving yards all time. This is a guy from Hofstra. Yep. You know, but his career kind of got cut short in 2005 with a very bad concussion. He still, I think, suffers from concussion syndrome today. But Chrebet was joined by several of his ex-teammates and some other Jets, when he was inducted into what the Jets call their Ring of Honor, which is pretty good. Included in that ceremony was a good friend to the Glory Days show. You've heard him here on this show. We've talked about the Christmas pickle. He is a former Jet tight end, and his name is Rocky Cleaver. Rocky, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, thanks for having me again. And once again, we have to bring up the Christmas pickle.
It wouldn't be the show without it, man.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
We're doing good. It's nice to actually see you for the first time.
Yeah, well.
We've been showing pictures from 1986 the last couple times.
Boy, you've aged quite a bit there, Rocky.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. It's the lighting. I just have makeup on.
So tell us a little bit about the ceremony. You were out there on the field, a couple of your ex-teammates, and I know you never played with Wayne Chrebet, but tell us a little bit about what that ceremony was like.
Oh, no, it was really a good one. I've been to quite a few, mostly because I live close enough that I can drive where they don't have any expenses to bring me up. So I've been to a couple. You know, the Klecko one was good. Freeman McNeil, I think Wesley Walker's in there too, right?
Yes.
So Marty Lyons. But, I mean, it was really good. There were a bunch of guys, you know, a bunch of guys I played with, plus guys that I've always wanted to meet. It was great to see Freeman McNeil because he's kind of a recluse as well. But meeting Chad Pennington was probably the highlight of the night.
Why is that?
Just, I actually saw him play in college. When I was done, the University of Montana played.
He's from Marshall, right?
Marshall, right.
Yeah.
When Randy Moss was there, too. So my son and I drove and went and watched him play. And, you know, I'm kind of the jinx now because they actually beat Montana in the national championship. But, no, he was really a good guy, nice to talk to. He knew some of the guys I knew from Montana, and it was pretty cool. There were a bunch of good guys there.
Now, you know, who talked about he was going to try to make it, but he didn't, was Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn. You know, he called him the team mascot is what he called him, but he said that was an affectionate term is what he was saying, you know.
I don't think I would have been that excited to see Keyshawn.
Well,
he was the guy just throw me the damn ball or something.
That's right.
That's he wrote a book.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. That's cool, yeah.
So what's it like for you to see some of these guys again? You know, you don't get to see them too often, I assume.
No, not too often. It's great. And really, you know, a football team is really a unique thing to where, I mean, it's been 30 years, and I sat there and we had a few beers with Stan Waldemore, and I was laughing the entire night. And I haven't seen him since, seriously, 1986.
Now,
it's so unique that you can get back together and talk about old times, new times. I mean, it's awesome.
Did you have your playing time friends? Have they aged about the same way you've aged, or have some of them aged worse, some of them not aged at all?
Well, you know, I'd like to think they all have aged worse. And there are times I look, like I'll walk by, brush my teeth, walk by a mirror, and I'm thinking, who the hell is that old man in my house? I think it's a ghost.
Yeah. Now, they call it the Ring of Honor, right?
Right.
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah.
I don't understand, you know, if you talk about the Jets, okay, I don't understand why they don't call it the Mile High Club or something like that, you know? Guess not, huh?
Where did that come from?
I don't know. That's all I got, Rocky. That's all I got.
Now, Joe Klecko, he just had back surgery again, so he was kind of limping, but he looks good. Freeman looks good. Bruce Harper looks good. You know, Wesley's had his ailments as well. You know, really, you know, football players are all kind of banged up when they're done regardless. And
right.
Most of us have a high threshold of pain for stuff like that. So, you know, nobody complains. It's just kind of keep going. Drink a beer, you know?
Well, let's talk about since Wayne Corbett was the honoree.
Yeah.
You know, his career ended because of concussions, and you know, we got into this a little bit last time you were on. Have you ever had, or did you know that you had a concussion while you played?
Yes, I've had them. I've known I had them, but you know, they go away, and you know, part of my problem is I have a lot more skull than brain, so my concussions are probably less than some of those guys.
Did they? But back then, there wasn't this protocol that they have now, where they're immediately brought off the field. They're brought into a quiet area to be evaluated and stuff. They didn't have any of that. I mean, that's why a lot of the NFL players, the older NFL players, they're suing the NFL.
Well, there was a big settlement on that, you know?
Yeah. And the good thing was, I mean, I didn't sue them, but everybody's involved in it, and we will get some benefits from it. You know, I think I got something in the mail that, you know, if I'm 80 and I get Alzheimer's, my kids get 50 grand to help change my diaper, you know, something like that.
Wow.
So I have a new girlfriend now, and I just told her the other day, I said, hey, if we hang out that long, you know, you at least get 50 grand to, you know,
there you go.
Me up.
Make sure you get that in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need that enticement there, right?
Well, you know, it's As a fan, it's fun to see those things because we're getting to see this now with the Islanders the last couple of weeks. The Islanders, it's their last year at National Coliseum. And the last couple of Saturdays, they've brought back Dennis Potvin, they brought back
Billy
Bob
Smith.
Nystrom, they brought back Billy Smith, and I think there's one more. What's the last one?
Well, Nystrom is coming back.
Nystrom's coming back this weekend.
Yeah.
And, from a fan's perspective, it's great to see these guys again. And I mean,
yeah, it is. Like Joe Namath, the only reason I ever was in the same sentence as Joe Namath was because we both had kids that were born around the same time, and my son just turned 29.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said something to Joe, and I said, hey, Rocky Cleaver, we were in the same sentence when our children were born, so I wanted to wish him a happy birthday for his child. And, we talked for a little while. He's a good guy. But the Ring of Honor thing is cool now. They wear the jackets. We went down on the field, Not too many fans remember us. But it was cool.
Well, you know what? There weren't too many fans there. There were a lot of Miami fans there. There were a lot of...
It was a crappy night, too. It rained,
It was a
right?
bad night. It was raining.
Yeah.
The fans, there's been so much disillusionment lately. We had, a couple of weeks ago, we had on the Fire John Idzik guys.
Yeah.
One of the guys. And they're really making a lot of noise, and they're getting closer and closer. They bought billboards. They're doing. They got ejected from the game last week.
No.
Monday night. Yeah. They had fire. They had Fire John Idzik signs, and they got ejected from the game.
Really?
Yeah. It was a really amazing thing. They said that.
Here's my point. Like, what do they prove by doing that? Okay. Will they make anything happen? No. They got
Probably
kicked out
not.
of a game that they might have enjoyed watching. It was a good game. I actually stayed to the very end.
Yeah. Well, they were winning for most of the game. Well, let me ask you something about that. We were talking about Bruce and I were talking before about the Geno Smith and the Mike Vick thing. And they came out in the beginning, and we know you're friends with Marty, so I'm not going to ask you that question. But there was the Vick Geno Smith thing. But my question is, if you want Geno Smith and you want to use him and you want to evaluate him,
then why not?
Why weren't they
let him not throw the ball?
Why were they keeping the strings on him? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. I mean, again, we talk about this a lot, and there's some things, the way people handle things, not everybody does it that way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would think if you're thinking of keeping Geno Smith, you should play him every down and make him do things that he's either not good at or he needs to get better at. I was kind of impressed at the end of the game. He did, the ball was intercepted, but that was a gutsy throw, and it looked like it could have been caught.
Yeah, again, he doesn't have a lot of weapons here, but my whole concern was that you're putting such reins on him that Miami's not stupid. The defenses aren't dumb. They went in at halftime and they made all these adjustments. They were almost daring them to throw the ball, and by the time they got to throwing the ball, it was almost too late.
He gets an incomplete. Is what he gets as a grade,
I went to the Denver game and they had a chance of winning.
Right.
The New England game, they had a chance of winning.
Yep.
The Dolphin game, they had a chance of winning. Like, they have chances if no matter what quarterback they have to get more weapons, or even if it's, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, they're going to suck trying to do what – could you imagine Manning trying to do what he does with changing plays and doing that and then looking around and saying, oh, who do I have? Like, what am I going to do, you know?
It's a tough situation for him, especially because he's a rookie. But you've gotten to watch him a little bit.
He's not a rookie.
Well, I mean, he's
not a rookie.
Well, he's kind of a rookie. As a quarterback, he's still a rookie. You know what I mean? But Rocky, you've got a chance to see him up close. You went to a couple practices and stuff. Is this a guy that could lead this team if he had the weapons? Do you think?
Yeah, mostly every quarterback in the league, if they have weapons and have time. I mean, some guys need a little more time. When you think of it, is there a dozen guys that you would hang your hat on right now?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Probably.
And look, I'm enjoying the Eagles now because I always liked Sanchez. So
Yeah.
Sanchez could lead a team to win, and he's doing it.
Yeah, and you know what? We always liked him here. But you know what? He did have 52 turnovers in the last 2 years. That's
Well, he's still turning the ball over with the Eagles, but the Eagles are winning. So, you know, you kind of overlook that, you know?
You know, they have a good line. They have good receivers. They've got that up-tempo offense, which, you're kind of out of breath just watching them play. You don't know how they're not exhausted.
What I always say, and I just said it the other day to a friend of mine, if Geno Smith had the weapons that Jake Cutler has, the Jets would be better, and Geno would be better, and maybe, the Idzik firing billboard would not go up.
Yeah.
And then maybe they would just be worried about getting, a running back, a linebacker, in the first pick, or, going forward and trying to fill guys in, a receiver. You got to get a receiver here.
Well, they had 12 draft choices.
But Percy Harvey, you don't think he's a receiver?
I don't know if I've ever really seen him catch a ball. I mean, I think he's got a problem catching. He's fast. When we know he can run, he can return things. I've not seen him enough to say what his problem is catching. But, I mean, how many balls has he caught with the Jets? Has he caught even 10?
I don't even know if he's caught that many.
He's
He's had a lot more runs, I think.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Been using him for a...
But, I mean, they spent a lot of money on Eric Decker, too, though. He's a receiver.
But they need someone faster and better than Eric Decker.
Did you see Eric Decker's wife?
Like Odell Beckham?
Well, I mean...
Was that some catch he made?
We don't need a better-looking wife than Eric Decker. We need a guy that's faster and maybe has an uglier wife.
You know what? We got to take a break. Can you hang out for a few more minutes? Can you hang out for a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean? Where am I going?
Take a short break.
You pretty much dominated my Friday night, so I'm here.
No, it's Saturday morning.
Oh, sorry.
You see, you have to take these coffee out of your eyes, a little sand out of your eyes.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue with
on?
Rocky. Yeah, you're still here. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk.
Okay.
We're going to continue talking with Rocky when we get back. I'd like to talk about Idzik and Rex Ryan, maybe what's next for the Jets in the future. Also want to talk about Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson.
Oh, I want to talk about them, yeah.
That's
All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Village Music Shop in Mastic has everything you need to give the gift of music this holiday season. Electric guitar packages with a guitar, amp, bag, and strap for only $1.99. Acoustic guitar packages as low as $79. Full-size 5-piece drum set package starting at $2.99. And all holiday packages come with 2 free private lessons. Gift cards available. Village Music Shop of Mastic. The best prices and personalized service for over 45 years. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE and visit villagemusicshop.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
To the Glory Days show here on InRavio.com, on the InRavio.com TV network.
Yeah.
In our studio via Skype is the lovely and talented Rocky Cleaver. And we've been talking about, obviously, football. So we got into a little bit before the break about John Idzik, the fired John Idzik people, and obviously there's a lot of frustration with Jet fans, just because it seems hopeless.
Yeah.
It seems like the team is going nowhere and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. We can't even see the tunnel at this point. So the question is, if they do, it looks like Rex is going to be fired. Do you now trust enough with John Idzik that if we get a really good draft choice, which it seems like we're heading that way, that he's going to have a good draft? And do we trust his judgment for picking a new coach? Because you got to let the GM pick his coach. You have to.
You kind of have to, yeah.
You know, I mean, what do you think? Do you think both of them stay, or will you get in trouble?
No, I won't get in trouble.
Okay.
I mean, I think if they both stay, that's what you go with. But somebody, I mean, John Idzik, unless Woody Johnson said, I want to fire Rex, and John Idzik said, there's no way you're going to fire Rex.
Right.
If you fire him, fire me. So I think John's going to get a chance to bring in another coach.
Okay. So what do you think? Yeah, okay.
I mean, then they got to make a decision with that #1 pick if they're going to go for a quarterback.
Right.
And then if they're going to do that, they might as well get rid of all the quarterbacks they have except for maybe the 3rd or 4th string kid.
Matt Sims.
Well, do you think if they were to bring in, if they do get themselves a young quarterback, do you bring in somebody like a Brian Hoyer for a couple of years and let the kid work out as a backup? What's the best way to do this?
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I'm from Oregon originally, so I like the kid from the University of Oregon, but I've never watched, a game film. When it bothers me when so-called experts will talk about, watching them, it's different to watch a game film and to watch what's on TV.
Uh-huh.
All the fans only get TV, which
Right.
You never know what the coverage is. You don't know what the protection is. Like, there's so many things you just don't know. You don't get to see if a receiver gets a clean release and actually gets open until the expert says, oh, he was wide open or he was double covered. You don't know. So I would think that what's his name, Mariotti or Mariota?
Yeah.
But if you go with him, just let him play and take his lumps and learn while he's going, and before you know it, he could be an Andrew Luck.
Well, that's what that's kind of the thing that we would really like. I mean,
Yeah.
we would love to get an Andrew Luck, but you know what? At this point, like you said, we're going to let Geno Smith finish out the year. Let's see what he could do. Let's evaluate everyone, and we'll see what happens. I mean, everybody loves Rex, but you know what? Rex is going to make a great defensive coordinator somewhere. I just don't think he's a head
I think he's going
coach.
to wind up in TV. I think he's got that kind of personality,
Yeah.
too.
I mean, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
All those guys are great coaches. It just, and wasn't he the head coach when Sanchez took us to 2
Yes.
AFC championship
Yep.
games?
We won
That
4
was early
playoff
in his
games on the
coaching
road.
career, for sure.
We won
Yeah,
4
so,
playoff games on the road. That's almost impossible to do.
Something went wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know what. Let's
Yeah.
before we're starting to run out of time here, I want to talk to you about Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson. I wanted to know what you felt about. First of all, this whole thing with the commissioner giving him a suspension for 2 games, and then after the video came out, he turned it into indefinite, and now it's been overruled.
Yeah.
What do you think about that whole Ray Rice thing? Does he get another chance with a team? Maybe not this year.
I think he should. I mean, the whole reason you have rules, not just football, like I have a rule in my family with my kids. If you have a rule, then you have punishments and you go by it. You don't say, oh, you know what, I'm going to ground you and take away your computer until I see some video that proves that you did something more wrong that I'm going to get you for. I mean, he went through the process. If anything, because I live right near Atlantic City, the county prosecutor, I thought kind of dropped the ball in this whole thing. He kind of got his punishment from the prosecutor, and he did whatever he was supposed to do. Then all of a sudden we see a video, and sure, it's bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's still that he was prosecuted for that.
I mean,
And he made a deal, and the victim forgave him. I guess the victim actually married him after that, right?
That's really forgiving him.
Yeah.
I wish my wife forgave me that much.
Me. So if there's really no victim, who are we to say what he's, his punishment?
That's
so
right. I agree.
If I were the Jets, I would try to sign him now.
I mean, why not? I mean, what is he? I mean, it's all these people that are saying, when they got Michael Vick, he's a dog killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Vick went to jail.
Yeah.
He went to jail for 2 years. He served his time. He's back here.
He had some punishment.
Yeah.
Now, I love dogs.
Absolutely.
So I'm sitting here with my dog right now, and I'd rather spend time with my dogs than most people.
Except for us.
Except for you two guys. Yeah. So, he did a horrible thing. I think it cost him about $100 million, they figured, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of was punished. Would I sign him as a quarterback? No. I hope, as a Jets fan, that they think Geno Smith is good enough to where the Jets can get a couple receivers. I like the tight end. If they sign Ray Rice, they'll have 3 really good running backs.
Yeah, and it just seems that yes, he got punished, and I understand how horrible that video was, because it was horrible. But what did they think happened inside that elevator?
It was like the commissioner was making up the rules. He went along, and that's like you say. You have to have a rule and stick by the rule. You don't do one thing and then I'm going to do something else. I think he deserves a second chance. I really do.
They can make a rule if you're convicted of the crime of domestic abuse or assault or whatever you want to call it, that you're out of the league. Make that rule and kick everybody out of the league that ever punches their wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? The key word that you said there is convicted.
Yeah. That we are kind of innocent until proven guilty.
That's what we're supposed to be.
It's kind of corny, but yeah, we are, I thought.
And you've got the Adrian Peterson thing. Now, the Adrian Peterson thing obviously is a little different. It involves a 5-year-old child. But you know what? I don't know. It's hard for guys our age to understand it, because when our children were growing up, we really never hit them. I don't. Did you get hit by your father?
Yeah.
My father kicked my ass.
Of course I got hit by my father, man.
My father kicked my ass. My mother used to hit me with a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
She'd hit me. I asked her about that.
How about you, Rocky? You ever get hit by your old man?
Well, by the time I can remember, my father was not around.
Oh, I see.
My mom never spanked me, never did any punishment. I pretty much did what I wanted, but my mom says I was such a good boy that she didn't need to punish me or spank me.
And she gave you your nickname, Rocky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that story.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like a boy named Sue. She gave me that nickname as punishment.
That's good.
Boy.
But and you sound like old school guys. Every black guy I know brags about his grandma whooped him, his mama whooped him, his daddy whooped him. Like, they all brag about the whoopings they used to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not bragging about it, but that was the reality. When you were growing up, man, you did something wrong, you got hit.
Just a little thing.
Yeah, but it's kind of a badge of honor. You're kind of saying, wait, I did some bad stuff, but I paid, and that's why I'm such a good guy, because I did get that punishment.
You get no argument from me.
So now Adrian Peterson is now looking to get his suspension overturned, but at least his contract didn't get voided. He still has a job.
And am I wrong that the Vikings want him back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They wanted to play him that game.
They were going to play him that game.
They backed off.
So, I think he'll probably come back next fall. He'll be reinstated sometime this winter. And Goodell will make some big speech about how, the punishment and this and that. And this is our new guidelines for, spanking your kid. But there was some times I used to hang out with Joe Klecko, and I babysat a couple times. And his son, Danny, was a handful.
I'm sure.
No, and his son, Danny, was probably at 5 years old stronger than most adults. Wow. And meaner. Yeah. And could curse. His dad would start to take his belt off, and Danny would cry like the baby he was. But Danny would start crying when Joe would start taking his belt off. And by the time I knew them, that's all Joe had to do was just threaten the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
And then his mom would go grab this yellow wiffle ball bat that she could swing pretty good, and that kid would run for the hills.
Well, my mother always used to threaten me with the wait till your father gets home thing.
Yep.
And that was all I really needed. Now, I wasn't a terrible kid.
Yeah, my mom threatened that too, but my father never came home, so.
All righty, we're running out of time. Hey, we got to do this again. This is fun.
Yeah, I like this high-tech thing.
There you go. We love it too.
We'd like it even better if we're going to try and get you here next time.
No, that sounds good too, yeah.
And if you come here next time, we'll buy the beer.
Oh, I don't know if you can buy that much beer.
I don't know, Chuck, how much
We
money
have an
do we have in the
unlimited budget
budget?
here.
They're shaking their head no.
It's all right. I drink cheap American beer, so don't worry about that. Like,
All right.
All righty, Rock, thanks a lot.
All right, guys, thanks.
We'll talk to you again. Thanks a lot. That is
All right,
the
peace.
lovely and talented Rocky Cleaver from the New York Jets. We are going to take a short break, come back, and wrap things up.
Thanks a lot, Rocky.
See you guys later. Right
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or the flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop in Mastic has everything you need to give the gift of music this holiday season. Electric guitar packages with a guitar, amp, bag, and strap for only $1.99. Acoustic guitar packages as low as $79. Full-size 5-piece drum set package starting at $2.99. And all holiday packages come with 2 free private lessons. Gift cards available. Village Music Shop of Mastic. The best prices and personalized service for over 45 years. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE and visit villagemusicshop.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio.com TV network. Let's take a quick look at our pigskin pick'em.
I don't want to take a look at all, Ben. All right.
There are only a few weeks left in our pigskin pick'em contest, and our leader is the formerly named I Need a Bag of Ice, who's changed their team name to Mr. John Puccio.
Mr. John Puccio.
That's what he did. And with 130, including Thursday's game, Mr. Puccio still maintains a 6-game lead over the tenacious Titans with 124 and OB1 with 123.
With only 4 weeks left in the season, it's going to be difficult for anyone to make up significant ground on Mr. Puccio. The leaders picked up 2 and 3 games on everyone last week.
Your humble hosts are failing miserably.
Humble, yeah.
Down the stretch. I know personally I've dropped into a tie for 8th place with 116, and Mr. B is number 11.
Yeah.
You're in 11th place with 111.
You know what 11 is? 111 is in bowling?
What?
The brick blank house is what it is.
I did not know that. I've never heard it called the blank house before.
Well, you know, this is a family show. You know?
That's you.
Oh, so our favorite inanimate object, Sammy Stone, had just 11 right picks over the last 2 weeks combined, and sitting in last place where he or it belongs. Okay.
And you can follow along with the 2014 Glory Day Pigskin Pick'em on ESPN.com Fantasy Games. And remember, the winner at the end of the season gets to do a live spot with us.
Will he be Skyping in, do you think, or will he be live with us?
I don't know. Is there a way that we could change the results? Maybe we could just have Sammy Stone.
Let's go
come
back
in
to the future.
Do a half hour of Sammy Stone. All righty. So we're about running out of time here. So what have we learned today? What did you learn today?
I learned that Rocky figured out how to do Skype. I think that was pretty good. You know?
Well, I learned that the Penn State nickname is the Beavers.
Okay.
I mean, is that because they got big, sharp, pointy teeth, or
Yeah.
or is that for the women?
Beaver Falls. No, it's not for the women, Disco. It's not for the women.
I also learned that Roger Clemens writes a lot of emails.
Yeah. Can't wait to read some of those.
You know, I mean, 6,000 emails in like 2 years. What are you writing about?
You know, I don't know, but you know, I wonder how many emails I do in a course of a week. You know.
I don't know. Certainly not 8,000.
You don't think so?
I don't know, but at least
I
you're
don't know. You know, when you're on a job,
work.
you're writing a lot of emails. You know.
Or when you're trying to protect your butt.
Well, that's true too.
I learned that Rocky Cleaver had said that we were talking about Eric Decker's wife being really good looking.
Oh, I knew that.
Right.
Jesse James. Jesse
Right.
James Decker is her
Right,
name.
and he said that the Jets really don't need a receiver with a better looking wife.
Yeah.
They need a better receiver with an ugly wife.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I don't. And if you didn't know, you know now that your humble narrators both got beat as kids by their fathers.
Well, I don't know. I could probably say that about most people our age, to tell you the truth, you know.
And look how great we turned out. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
We also heard about who the worst sports team
Oh, the worst
owners
sports
are.
yes, there are. And we found out that most of our guys are ranked, although the Wilpons have turned around, and certainly Charles Wang is first place New York Islanders.
There you go. There you go.
You know,
the
they
Yankees
have-
weren't on that list, you know.
No, the Yankees weren't on the list. But about the Islanders, real fast. The Islanders have more wins than the Jets, the Giants, the Knicks, and the Nets combined.
Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs for all these other teams, isn't it, you know?
All righty, we're running out of time, aren't we?
All right.
We're running out of time. So why don't we say goodbye?
Let's not say au revoir, let's say hors d'oeuvre. Okay.
All right. Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and the lovely and talented Bonnie Schultz from behind the glass today, who put together this show in little tiny pieces.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rocky Cleaver for helping us out today here. And, you know, you learned something today, Rocky. You learned how to do Skype.
Yeah.
So thanks to Kyle and Bonnie for that, because I
Of
would
course,
just...
it might have gone a little smoother had we known it was a Mac he was using, not a Microsoft.
Me, I would have
application.
just hung up and made him use the phone. You guys persevered today,
That's
so that
good.
was pretty good. And thanks again for Chuck and Bonnie for putting up with this nonsense week after week. And of course, thank you to the Sav, who sat in on the studio audience today for 2.5 hours.
And he's been very quiet. Been very quiet.
Say hello.
Hello. Hey, there you go.
All righty. Don't forget, check out the Glory Days on-demand page on www.inravio.com to watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows that are on the inravio.com TV network.
All right.
That's about it, my friend.
So we will see you next week.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
InRavio.com. InRavio.com.